Hi there, this is Bruce at Fleet Capital Management. It's Friday afternoon, the 10th of November, 2023. We had a great day today. Difficult week, difficult few weeks, but today was actually fantastic. And I want to show that to you. This should be a fairly short video. As always, we need to say the video presentation is intended for educational purposes only. The discussion of any security is not a recommendation to purchase or sell the security. I'm always available to you, Bruce at Fleet Capital Management. Homepage, fleetcapitalmanagement.com, 2 buttons. This will take you to the most recent video. This one will put you on my calendar so you and I can do a private one-on-one Zoom. So let's go first to our matrix that we build every day. This is as of the close of today. The short term, which is and it's always the S&P, this is the daily, is up. The change for the week is the 8 went above the 21-day moving average, which I'll show you. So that on Monday was still in the red, which was a bit concerning, but then it turned up nicely. On the weekly technicals that I look at, the hull is still down, which is okay. The GNG is up, and that went up actually last week. So that was a continuation, which showed a little bit of strength. The moving averages on the daily basis, the 50 still above the 20, but I don't think that's going to last very long. On the more important one, we went back from red to green. We're not solid green. They're kind of kissing, but it looks like it's green. So I'll show that to you as well. So this is the go, no go platform. On the left is the weekly, the right side is the daily. We're always looking at the S&P 500 as our guide. On the daily, you can see this is the 20-day moving average, and it's still below the 50-day, but it's shooting just straight up. So it's not going to take long for that to cross. Once that crosses, we're in a technical bull market. Remember, when the 20 is over the 50 and the 50 is over the 200. And hopefully that'll come back up pretty quickly. On the weekly chart, you can see the green, which is the 10-week moving average, was above the red, and then it crossed below, and now it's too close to tell. Actually, it's 1 or 2 ticks below the red, but that's okay because the price is dramatically above, and the price is what pulls the moving averages higher. Price again, and here this was an interesting thing. Today we closed just about at the high of a massive day. Closing at the high is a very, very strong sign, just so you know. Closing at the low on an up day is not really a strong sign, but then it was followed by a great day. So I'm good with all of this. I like what I'm seeing here. On the weekly also, we went back from a neutral bar to a weak bull bar, which is the ambered color, to a strong bull bar trend, which is the dark blue color. On the daily, we're still in the aqua. We've been in the aqua for quite some time. I think that'll switch early next week if we have a good market next week. Let's go to my main charting platform. Here's the S&P 500. Again, the blue is below the gold. The blue is the 20, the gold is the 50. But on this chart, I have the 8-day, which is the fastest. And that, I started to get a lot of confidence right here when it crossed, the 8-day crossed the 200 and then crossed the 20-day moving average. You probably could tell I started adding securities. Even though we weren't 100% out of the woods yet, technically speaking, I decided to add some securities that did pay off. A couple of other strong things on here is here's today's really strong bar. It's way above the 50-day moving average. It's above the 20-day moving average, but it's also above the 8-day moving average. All of this is very strong. So this is going to drag those into the proper alignment. Down here, this is the ADXDI. The green DI is above the red DI, which signifies a bullish trend, which is easy to see. And also the white line, which is a little bit more difficult to see, is above this horizontal 20 level, which signifies a pretty strong bullish market. Now, it is falling a little bit. That gives me just a drop of concern. I've seen that before. I mean, you can see here how it fell down, but then it came right back up before it really started to trail off. So I'm not terribly worried about that at all. Down here, this is the True Strength Index, which I use quite a bit. My first indication was the blue, the faster line crossing above the red, that also gave me more confidence to start buying some securities, which I did throughout all of last week. And then the second thing that I want to see is I want to see these two lines, so the red above that zero line. That would indicate a very strong uptrend. So everything looks good to me on here. Let me put the hull on just so you can see it. You can see that the hull turned green right back here. There was kind of a confluence of things that started to give me some faith, even though the technicals aren't perfectly set up, and they're not. But a lot of things gave me some faith to start buying some securities that we would be okay there. I don't like the angle of the linear regression, but we are clearly up here, and the higher this goes, the more, remember, this is 100 trading days. So each new day drops off past day, and we will get that back in an angle that points north, I'm sure, but right now it's not, and I don't particularly like that. It's the only thing on the chart I don't like. Super trend, which are the ATR dots, they changed right back in here. Just another confluence of things that started to give me credit to start buying some securities for you. Confidence, not credit. It's rising. Not only is the price above the ATR, but the ATR is rising. I like to see that. That's a strong sign. Here, the ATR was flat. That tells me we're in a consolidating market. You can see through this whole bull run, the ATR is rising. That's what I want to see. So there's an awful lot of good on these charts, not a lot of bad. Let me just show you a few things real quick. To most portfolios, but again, it depends on your risk tolerance. I bought symbol PSN, and it's doing really well. I bought it back here. Of course, it fell right after I bought it. That just seems to be the law of nature. But we had a stop in place, and it didn't get down to our stop. If it did, we would have been stopped out, and we'll look for another stock. You know, I don't cry over those things, but we've had a nice run. We have a perfect linear channel. We're inside the channel. The 8's above the 20, 20's above the 50, and so on. All of that is good. And we are clearly in a profit zone. So I have moved the stop. The red line is the initial stop, and we almost got stopped out. Glad we didn't. I have moved that stop up. So that's really good. Obviously, just remind you, the goal is to get the stop above the entry. That it's a no risk trade. For accounts I bought, Crowd has been doing really well. We've already moved the stop up. We are clearly in a profitable position. Let's just let that run. And we are coming up on earnings for this stock. The earnings will be the 29th. So we'll be watching closely there. NetEase I bought for a number of you. Again, same kind of picture. The timing looks on these last couple really, really good. Here was our initial stop. We've moved the stop up below the 50-day moving average. We're clearly above our entry, so that's looking good. PH is a stock we just recently bought. The same story. I would like to see, I don't like to see the linear regression pointing down. If it's pointing sideways, we're in just a sideways trending market, but I really want to see it pointing up. And I'm hoping with this stock that we're going to break through the top of this linear regression. That generally means it's a little bit overbought, but it will start to pull this linear regression into a better angle, which is what I want to see. But we are profitable. We've only been in it a couple days. Visa I purchased. Visa, I have moved the stop up a little bit, not a lot. We do have a gain, not a lot. Visa is more of a slow-moving big cap company, but we're coming into the holiday season. I've looked at all the fundamentals, all of the technicals, of course, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. So we're going to give Visa a shot and see if we can't get its price to pull that linear regression up as well. Here's a stock that I bought yesterday, I think. This stock is the biggest payment processor in Latin America, this company. If you know what Square is that little device that you can tap your card or slide your card at many, many merchants. Square is the biggest in North America, and this company is the biggest in South America, and they're growing, and they have a lot of upside because they're just opening up the Mexican market. And that will be the biggest market in the world for them. I have moved the stop up just a little bit. I'm still below the 200-day moving average. Normally, I like to be just below the 50-day, but we just went into this and we don't have a huge profit yet. I think like I said, I think we went into it yesterday. For those who own Bitcoin, Bitcoin has been rocking through the roof, and that's doing really well. I'm not worried about that. I also added SPGP, which is growth at a reasonable price, to many portfolios. Instead of selling much of SPY, which is the S&P 500, what I've been noticing from my research is that the two actually work pretty well together. Like, for instance, the SPY, let me find that for you. Here it is. SPY was up 1.56% today. SPGP, the new one that I just bought, which is definitely less conservative, was up even more. It was up 1.62. There are lots of days where the SPY will outperform the SPGP, and there are also lots of days where the SPY pure growth doesn't do real well, and value, you can consider this more of a value type of a situation, does much better. So again, what I noticed is pairing them together seems to be working really well. I did just go into another one, to a small degree, SFLR. I like all of the technicals on this. It's gone down since I started to buy it, and I don't actually know why, because everything else looks good, but hopefully that will come right back as well. So the majority of our growth stocks are doing really, really well. I'm happy with everything I'm seeing. I'm happy with the market. I'm happy that I noticed all of this and made a call early in the week to start adding securities so we could take advantage of that. I fully intend on adding more securities. I don't like to overpay for things. So, maybe we'll see a little bit of a pullback on Monday or Tuesday. It's always normal after a good run. And I am doing a lot of research, looking at hundreds and hundreds of stocks to try find more that I believe are going to be the performers going forward. So that's a story. If you have any questions, real easy, just shoot me an email or hop on my Zoom calendar so we can talk one-on-one. I'm continuing to build out portfolios. I would like to get them fully invested by the end of next week, but it all depends on what the market does. We'll take a look and we'll go slow. But if you have any questions about what I'm doing, anything that I have bought, anything that I've sold, anything happening in your account, just shoot me an email or hop on my Zoom so we can look at your account and talk one-on-one. So that's a story. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will be with you on Monday morning. Bye-bye.